Hey, what's up, ladies and gentle-tubers? It's Tyler. Welcome back to the eveRide channel, and I have kind of an announcement to make. First of all, the Raw channel. I'm doing a lot more on the Raw channel these days. If you enjoy motovlogs like this one, if you enjoy kind of those raw garage videos, I am going to be putting a lot more things on the Raw channel, just kind of to keep things real. I mean, I have two channels. The purpose of the Raw channel was to be a place where, you know, I could be more personal, just put things that weren't really edited and so forth. So if you're not subscribed and watching the Raw channel, then you might be missing out on things that you may like. So a couple things about this video. First of all, I am pre-riding my friend Rodney's Beta 480RR on the commute, just to make sure that there's no new washes or washouts or sketchy obstacles that I wouldn't want to run into while actually setting a time. The second thing is I'm using my backpack mount again, and if you're interested in learning how I do that, how that mount is made possible for very little money, very cheap, that will be on the Raw channel. But I've also got stuff on the Raw channel like how I mount my helmet to my camera, how I mount my camera to my helmet, microphone setups, Raw vlogs, garage vlogs, things like that. Things that you don't want to miss out on. Now, here's the reason. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, what's the deal with the recent uptick in activity on the Raw channel? Well, I'm not a real numbers guy. I used to really care about YouTube subscribers and all that stuff. And maybe about a year ago, maybe two, I just stopped caring about YouTube numbers and everything like that. And so, you know, people are like, hey, well, what if you get like a hit video on your Raw channel, which you don't monetize, and you miss out on a bunch of money or whatever? Well, YouTube doesn't really pay that much anyway, and so it's just not a concern for me. So I'm just not worried about that, and I like to upload Raw things to the Raw channel, because I know people have different preferences. Sometimes when I upload Raw stuff like this on the channel, and you'll probably see it right now in the likes and dislikes section, but people kind of expect a more cinematic vibe on the main channel, and obviously a more raw vibe on the Raw channel. But anyway, one of the reasons for this is for patrons and gentle-deucers, basically people who contribute monthly on the website, eveRide.com, the new website. For people who contribute monthly, you know, I want to put out a lot of content, and one of the big drives was, hey, you know what? I don't care if it's super cinematic stuff. I just want you to put out content. I miss some of the motovlogs. I miss some of the more raw garage videos. I'd love to see that again. And so that is the push. So especially if you are a contributor at eveRide.com, or if you're a patron and you know, you want to see more Raw stuff, get on the Raw channel, because that's where a lot of stuff will be going. And again, I always post this stuff on the executive producer's Facebook page. Most of it will make it to the eveRide Facebook page, and then it'll make it on Patreon as well. So anyway, that's what's going on. So if you like Raw stuff like this, and kind of behind the scenes stuff, I do some tutorials and whatnot, the Raw channel is a good spot to be. Now, as for the main topic of this vlog, we're going to talk about a little bit about self-worth, and we're going to talk a little bit about depression. I had a message from a very caring wife that come through the website, actually. She's interested in booking a tour for her husband, which is so cool, kind of as a pick-me-up. And she just said, you know, my husband's been watching your videos. He's such a great guy, but he's got a little bit of depression. Whoa. All right, anyway, Colt, this part of the video is for you, and for anybody else who happens to think a lot of the same ways that I do, some really negative, self-defeating thinking patterns, and what we used to call them in the psychology world was thinking errors, which basically meant, hey, this is not the truth. And it's tricky because when you have certain types of depression or certain types of bipolar disorder, there is an element of psychosis to it, and that element of psychosis may tell you that logically everything is actually okay. Things are not that bad, but in your mind, things are bad. Things are terrible. It's you feel like you're a burden on your family. You feel like you're a burden on your wife. You feel like literally you'd be better off dead. And it's not a good feeling to be in. And it's not like I've conquered this. This is something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, whether I'm medicated or not. But it comes and it goes. And honestly, I do it a lot, but I would recommend to anybody that if you are struggling with any kind of depression or anything like that, go talk to your doctor and see if some meds can help. And it's not going to help day one. Sometimes you're going to feel weird for a couple of weeks, but you should get an idea of a couple of weeks after kind of how you're feeling and if it's a good thing for you or not. So, these tires. Anyway, there are things that motorcycling just doesn't fix. It is a great release. It's a great time. It's a great way to exercise. It's a wonderful way to get out in nature, but sometimes you just can't beat psychological disorders with activities. Sometimes you really do need something more. So I encourage you to go check that out. But now I want to talk to you about those negative thoughts, because they're common, and a lot of people deal with these thoughts of inadequacy, and everybody gets down sometimes. But I think for a lot of people, probably not the majority of people, but for enough of the people that I talk to that deal with things like this, it is a feeling of I'd be better off if I killed myself, or my family would be better off if I was dead, or my family would be better off, this or that or whatever. And it's false. That's a thinking error. And in the moment, it's really hard to combat it. But at least for me anyway, that rational side really does come through. It really does come through, and it says, my brain, my thinking brain doesn't believe it, but I can at least in the back of my mind somewhere think, what, this is false. You have to take inventory of the things that you've done for your family, the good things that you've done in your life. You've got to get introspective, and it's really, really hard when you're in a negative mindset. You're fighting in your own mind. You're having a battle in your own mind. But you need to let that logical side come forward a little bit. And what's funny is that logical side is going to list the things that you're grateful for. And gratitude is a fantastic antidepressant. The problem is that when you're depressed, when you're in that mode, the gratitude doesn't really come to the forefront. It's hard to be grateful when you're depressed. I think that's why it's such a good remedy. But as soon as you see that kind of light at the end of the tunnel, you got to grab onto as much gratitude as you can and just ride that baby out. Because seriously, think about it. When I'm in this mode where I think, oh my gosh, my family would be better off without me, My job is stupid. I don't serve anybody but myself. I ride motorcycles around, and I'm not helping anybody, and I'm a failure as a teacher, and I'm not with my kids as much as I want to be, even though I work from home. Or there's a lot of really defeating thoughts. You basically just have to kick on that gratitude, and so you say, hey, you know what, my kids are around me. And another thing you can do is make the change. You're like, hey, I do get to see my kids a lot more from home or whatever. This is me talking about my own experiences. And then it's like, hey, people get out and ride and enjoy life because of the videos I make sometimes. And not everybody's a hater. And like, my wife loves me, and even though I make dumb decisions sometimes, and even though I kind of act like a jerk sometimes, and even though I'm broken for, basically on a schedule, when I'm depressed, she still loves me and she still sticks by me, and man, how grateful I am for her. So really, like, in the moment, in the deepest depression, it's gonna be really difficult, if not impossible, to think of anything you're grateful for. However, I gotta throw a big roost here for the video on the side cameras. So it looks real cool, But yeah, you have to go into I'm gonna do my best mode, and you have to go into these are the things that I'm grateful for and that are wonderful parts of my life mode. And hopefully that can kind of lift you out of it. Anyway, Colt, you in particular have a fantastic wife. And I'm sorry to hear about your job. I'm sorry if I'm embarrassing you. But you know what? You're loved. You're very, very obviously loved. You're very obviously a good guy. You're doing good things. And here's the thing is I'm kind of regurgitating the exact same stuff that my wife tells me when these tires, holy cow. Any kind of sidewall grip is absolutely elusive. Anyway, just it's a battle that you're gonna have to fight your whole life, and that is hard. It sucks, but you can beat it. You can beat it every time. It's gonna be a constant fight, but you can beat it. You can get over it. At least one day after another. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be gone forever. It'll come back, but you can fight it when it comes. And hopefully people like you and I will get better at it. The more we fight this beast, the better we'll get at defending ourselves from its attacks and warding it off when it is coming. Something that I get sucked into a lot is putting on a smiley face and just kind of faking it and pretending like nothing's wrong. It's something that I have to do for my wife, for my kids, for my family, for my tour, for my friends. And a lot of the times I feel very fake, and that's not a good thing. And every once in a while, and this isn't a psychology thing, this isn't some therapist proven thing, but for me, every once in a while, I do need to just get out alone, whether it's on a motorcycle or something, and I know this sounds weird, but just kind of embrace the numbness and feel hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to be like, why does my brain do this to me? But when you acknowledge that it's your brain doing it to you, and when you acknowledge that it's not who you really are, that gives you power over it. And get yourself in a safe spot, and make sure there's nothing around that you could hurt yourself with or anything like that. But then just go and be alone and be numb. And it may take a couple of days, it might take a week, it might take a couple of hours. I don't know. For me, it's usually a couple of days, but you do have to just take a couple of days to be numb, and to feel some of that anger that you're always trying to shove back into the background, you know, to try to be strong for your family or your job or your friends or whatever. Anyway, man, to Colt, to future me, who I know I'm going to be dealing with this my whole life, to anybody else who feels this way, you're loved. You have people who love you, people who value you and your friendship and your contributions to your job, to the world, to society. Don't ever downplay that. Don't ever downplay that, because you are valuable. I'm going to go ahead and say it in this vlog. I don't get real religious a lot of times, but you know what else? I firmly believe that you're a child of God. You're created by this super loving God who legitimately cares about you. Not only that, who knows everything you're going through and who will help you. But that's the problem, is you do have things to learn. And so he's going to let you learn those things, and it hurts like hell. But then once you learn them, I guess we're going this way. Anyway, Colt, your wife loves you. You got a good thing going on, and don't give up on riding motorcycles, man. It's not a dumb idea. You can do it. This is for everybody. It's not for, you know, some group of cool elite people. That's the best thing about dual sport. You don't have to care about Dakar to ride a dual sport. You don't have to care about motocross to ride a dual sport. You don't have to. There is no click. You're just in. You start riding. You can be any age or any sex or any sexual preference or anything, and you're accepted, and you're a riding buddy. I mean, we're small. We got to stick together. And riding buddies are pretty rare. And so, you know, that's my take on it all. Anyway, I'm sorry to kind of get all up in your business and stuff like that, but I just felt really kind of like maybe I could help. And because I go through this probably about once every month or 2 months, where I just feel absolutely worthless, where everything in my life seems like a big waste. So don't be discouraged, man. Just keep your chin up. Don't give up on the things that you love, and listen to people when they're positive, because maybe you'll tell yourself some negative things, but they're going to be telling you the truth. They're going to be helping you find that list of positive things that you can grab onto and ride out of that dark tunnel. Anyway, guys, much love to all of you, and hopefully you guys have an excellent week this week. This is the first day of spring. Oh, and you know what else, Colt? Happy birthday! Happy birthday, man. Anyway, Colt, happy birthday, man. I hope you get feeling better. Give that wife a huge kiss. She sounds amazing. She's a keeper. And much love to you, and much love to everybody who goes through anything like this. And I know everybody does at times. Just punch that negativity right in the face. Fight it. Fight it however you can, whether it's spirituality or whatever you need to do. Anyway, guys, much love to you. eveRide out.